You're listening to DraftKings Network.
This is the Dan Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
So, Dan, you saw Hard Knocks yesterday?
I did not. We just covered
you
this.
didn't.
We just covered that.
Oh, I thought that you did. I thought that you were going to know what I was talking about. I watched it this morning because Hard Knocks is usually like a 10 o'clocker, and 10 o'clock in my household does not fly. So I said, you know what? Tuesday shows are going to be a Wednesday show. And then I found out this morning it's a 9 o'clock release, which is very exciting.
Important details.
Well, no, I'm telling you now, I'm going to be able...
Is the hour going to change it, Billy?
It does. 9 to 10? Dude, when you get to this phase of your life, 9 to 10 is a
big
huge
hour. Yeah.
It's the witching hour. Like, that's the time of
Wow,
activity. Yeah.
Billy, I think you're just announcing officially to the audience that you are in on old age.
Yeah, no, I woke up at 5:30 this morning and I watched Hard Knocks because I thought everyone else was going to and I had to for work, and now I realize no one did but me. So
It's different for me. For me, it's like 10 to midnight is my time. That's when I would have a chance to watch stuff because it's like everyone's asleep. It's like I finally have some alone time.
But this is another process in aging. You're right, Billy. You want to get everyone down and sleeping by 9 p.m. so that
by
you
9 p.m. That's by 9 p.m. I'm hoping we don't have like the second wake up. No, everybody's in bed by 7:30.
Okay,
9
but
p.m.
so those are your hours. But the time that Billy gets for Billy,
Your wife?
the time that Billy gets, not for his marriage, that Billy gets for Billy is between 7:30 p.m. and 10 p.m.
The time that Billy gets for Billy is when Billy's pooping.
Yep.
That's the only time Billy gets for Billy.
You stay there bonus time, right?
Until your legs fall asleep.
Right.
That's where I watched half of Hard Knocks this
course,
morning.
yes,
Because I know if I'm in the bathroom
Yeah.
and I close the door.
Sit there
then-
all day.
Okay,
right.
so-
Quite the visual.
What do we need?
Exactly right.
Please give us. We have erred in not critiquing. I mean, this is a big deal, Chris. You've been a Dolphin fan all your life. This is the most interesting season in 20 years here, and your team is now the featured player in Are They a Fraud?
I'm a little nervous that Mike McDaniel's going to be too zany. Like, he's zany enough with the cameras constantly there. I'm worried that it might be a little overkill, but I'm definitely excited
He
about
curses a lot.
Really?
Almost like we don't need
Playing
to,
it up?
Yeah, we don't need to curse that much. Let's tone it down a little bit, Mike. We don't need to curse that much.
He's forcing it.
Not for it. There was a lot of F-bombs that I felt like weren't super necessary.
He's got to be extra football, though, doesn't he?
No. Extra football?
Extra football.
No,
More
he
F
just
words.
seems-
The more F words, the more snacks you got. You got Rex Ryan shouting F words. Like, that's football.
Oh, I get what you're saying. Like, he plays it up for them. Like, when he's coaching, he has to turn up the football.
Well,
where he's
because
not
people
actually
think
that
he's a
football.
numbers dork and he's
Yeah.
kind of eccentric. He's weird. How can this little frail guy who's into fashion be leading all these muscled men?
So you have him turning on the Dan Campbell for the players.
Just some F words. Just sprinkle in some
Yeah.
F words so that you can
Makes
be a
sense.
little
yeah.
tougher.
Yeah.
Well, we discovered that the Dolphins do have a Dan Campbell on their staff, their linebackers coach.
I saw that clip. That guy's cursing a lot.
That guy's cursing a lot, and Dan, I don't want to spoil anything for anyone's out there, but he let us know ass whooping is the international language. You can go to Greece, if someone's whooping ass, you know what's going on.
Put it on the poll, Juju, please.
He's right about that.
Is ass whooping the international language? He is right about
When
that.
you see somebody getting their ass kicked, you're like, hey, that guy's getting their ass
it
kicked.
doesn't matter what you speak. We're all
Any
fluent.
country, yeah.
We're all fluent in that.
He also-
Unless the Steelers play in the game and then get outgained and we're confused about the ass whooping.
He also gives
They'll be
out
back.
he gives out cakes each week to defense for good performances on defense.
Like Steve Aoki?
Full cakes. No, not thrown. Full cakes. And from what I saw, it was like printed images. You know how the Dolphins have like the elevator that they change every week with a picture of the Dolphins? Yeah. This guy hands out cakes with pictures of the defenders making good plays on them, and they get a full cake.
Imagine a Van Ginkel cake.
When he told everybody that ass whooping was the international language, Tyreek Hill and some others were laughing at him. And then they show like a couple scenes later, Tyreek Hill is on in the practice, and he's telling his team, ass whooping is the international language, everybody knows. Which I couldn't figure out. Is he making fun of his coach right after, or did this stick? Because either way, it was great.
Which would you vote if you had to guess?
He was laughing at him, so I thought he was making fun of him, but then I thought, you know what?
He's buying in.
Yeah.
I think he may have bought in on this. I think it may have worked.
Kind of like we did. Like we laughed at first, and then we're like, "Wait a second, he's right."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because it's a ridiculous thing to say in a
Well, it's
locker
true,
room.
though. It's also true, Dan.
But it's also true. That's correct.
Dan, if you go to Greece and there's some ass being whooped,
That's right.
You know
what's
it.
up.
Right.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It is true. I can't dispute what it is that you guys are saying, and that person thrives in the community of football. They are 7-3. They are on Hard Knocks. Chris Cody is super interested, but not quite interested enough to actually watch.
Yeah, I forgot.
Not
I'm
enough.
getting to it though.
Yeah.
It's
No, I know.
Thanksgiving week,
Super
man.
passionate. I understand. You're sitting here feeling obligated. You're belching out 2 God bless footballs in 3 days. That's hard to do, and you're finding only toilet time to yourself where you're doing homework, feeling obligated because surely in the local hour we were going to discuss Hard Knocks. Surely.
It seemed like a for sure thing, and I didn't want to be the only one left out. But now I know. Maybe don't put so much pressure on myself next
You
Tuesday.
went the extra mile, man. I'm proud of you.
No, we
Billy.
needed it.
Tuesday's a good TV day for me because right now I had a pretty empty slate on Tuesday. I watch Winter House occasionally, but that's sometimes I watch things usually the day after it happens. So like
That's what I'm going for.
Monday
with the Hard
shows
Knock.
become Tuesday shows.
Have you finally
Tuesdays
caught up
become
on the World
Wednesdays.
Series?
Could you believe Dallas got injured and they still won? Like nothing. That was crazy.
When did you watch that? Like last week at 5:30 in the bathroom? You're just getting caught up?
It was a nice mid-November treat for myself.
It's got to be.
Fall classic.
If Mike's having trouble with bandwidth and children and keeping up and travel, and you've got 2 running around
Yeah.
now, and you've got Stugotz.
I'm good with my
and,
child, by the way.
and God
No
bless the
problems
football.
here.
You
We get along swimmingly.
you must be in a frenzy, in a weekly frenzy that allows you very little television time.
Yes.
And that television time, if you're going to parse it, the Hard Knocks has to be earned in the Billy household, does it not?
Well, I view it as like a business expense. You know what I mean? Like it's now required viewing. I'm going to have to watch it.
That works. I got to work, honey.
Yeah, Sunday Night Football. Got to watch this one.
Where'd
doozy.
he come from?
Every Sunday.
What? No, that was just my voice.
No, that was not your voice.
I've got
That
some
wa-
topics, ho.
Thank you.
Really?
I do want to talk
Oh,
to you.
Billy's cooking with gas.
I want to hear more. Do you have any more Hard Knocks? I'm here.
No,
for
I'm not going to say any more because you guys haven't seen. I don't want to spoil it because there's
Don't-
you guys, the audience probably is the same. Is that everybody can't watch it? Why don't we make a pact, gang? Let's make a pact. We'll talk about Hard Knocks every Thursday, so everybody has a day buffer to catch up. Is that fine?
But you're not here on Thursday.
Well, not this Thursday. Also, because
This week it's kind of like Roy's
Right.
show. This week it's a Wednesday.
Exactly.
Because we have.
But Billy's
Thanksgiving.
never here on Thursday.
Yeah.
I'll
Ever.
watch it.
He's doing
well.
God bless football on Thursdays with Stugotz.
Talk about it there, Billy.
Okay.
Okay. People
Well, why
might,
don't we do Friday or Mondays?
People might want your Hard
did I
Knocks
say?
takes.
I don't know.
Maybe you can critique it for us, for the show, because Chris Cody might not get to it.
I'm gonna get to it.
He's such a big Dolphins fan that he didn't even watch and forgot that it was on.
I was
and
rewatching the Raiders game, all 22.
You might also forget that they're playing on Friday at 3:30 once you get into the beer and your dad's barefoot fried turkey.
Why does he do it barefoot? Is that a question that's ever been asked
I
before?
mean, do you wear shoes around your house?
I mean, to fry a turkey, I'd probably wear shoes.
He's in the garage, though, frying a turkey on
You can't
Thanksgiving.
fry a turkey in the garage, by the way. That's also
He does it
dangerous.
just outside the
Just
garage.
outside the garage.
The best
He
part
told us,
about it
yeah.
is he always puts one cone like a couple feet away from it as if it's like
Stay away.
it's just like
For your
maybe a circle,
protection.
cones.
It is wildly irresponsible. Your father at any point could get boiling oil all over his
Well,
bare
if you're,
feet.
he's not dropping it. Like, I actually am with my dad on this. He's a pro's pro. He's not putting in a frozen bird. When you have explosions, it's 2 things. Your bird is frozen or you drop it like a maniac. He's dropping it slow and his bird's not frozen. He's a pro.
Anything can happen, though, Chris.
Exactly.
That's the
I mean,
thing.
anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
Yeah, anything can happen when you're cooking your turkey in your oven. Yeah, your house could burn down, but it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, but I'm not having boiling grease 3 feet from my
Well,
foot.
you're missing out.
He's
because
a
it's
pro.
Delicious.
I mean,
Fried turkey is
You just
game
take your time. I'll stand idly by.
But the bare feet add nothing. If it's just an added
Well, it's
unnecessary
just-
danger.
He would say it's unnecessary to add shoes just for that. I mean, he's
Right.
walking around.
Thank
all
you,
the time.
Josh.
he's got to bend down. I mean,
Safety issue, sure.
Plus, it crushes on social with the feet.
No, it doesn't.
The talons, because he's got those rotten toenails that Stugotz has cut twice.
Click on the floor.
it's a weird
It's
sentence.
disgusting. No, and they do click on the floor, and it is really wildly unpleasant.
It's such a viral video that this year he's like, "Can we get it on the Greg Cody Show
Well-
Twitter account?" I don't like every year it goes on the Le Batard Show and they get all the views. He was
Okay,
like,
yes, he can have it. He's
"The
welcome.
foot views come in." I'm telling you.
Florida, he's maximum Florida manning it by not wearing shoes around boiling
Free
oil.
state of Florida.
But I just want to get to what Chris Cody is doing there, which is, it seems like you have done very little learning in the life that I have seen from you being a young boy to where it is you are now. But there is a truth in this Cody family. What you have learned is that you cannot drop that the only time there are explosions are when you drop it in like a maniac. And what was the first time?
If it's frozen.
And if it's frozen,
if they're frozen turkey, they don't let it thaw out. That's when it really.
You were showing real expertise there.
Anything can happen, though. It could tip over.
That's right.
Like, a number
That's
of
correct.
things can go wrong.
Yeah, but these fryer things are like, they're not just like on like a thing where it's going to fall easily.
No one whose house is burned down from a deep fried turkey expected that to happen.
You're talking to Billy here, Chris, okay? I mean, anything can happen. It's his motto throughout
house
life.
Who burned down because of a fried turkey, do I have to say it again? We already just did the two things. I mean, that's just, they don't just blow up. It's not like a Tesla. You have to do something wrong for it to blow up.
Life lessons from Greg.
Why are you so defensive on behalf of, I believe it's
a bunch of non-fried turkey people over here telling me how dangerous it is.
It's just a non-controversial take to say perhaps you wouldn't want bare feet around boiling oil.
Put the dogs away. That's all I'm saying.
I mean,
the views, though.
Or the turkey
views.
you're going to eat.
Think about the views.
It's fine. You can argue on behalf of your father is doing a wise thing here. I think it's a losing argument, but you can argue it in defense of love and your father. Him being barefoot is an extra Florida man vibe. Those feet are dirty. I've been in that garage. That shit hasn't been cleaned since 1980.
Oh, it's gross.
Like, it's deeply unpleasant where he's cooking food.
Black. The bottom of his foot is black.
The hygiene we're talking about there with his talents and everything else is disgusting.
Agreed.
It's a monster. It is a monster who lives in the swamp of Florida who comes out to cook and drink 12 beers. Drink 12 beers and happy Thanksgiving. I hope my feet aren't covered in boiling oil. Let me get those clicks, honey. My talons, my rotten talons need to be out there for everybody, and they have to see me do fried turkey.
But he puts a cone out.
He puts a cone out.
One cone.
One cone.
Where's the cone supposed
It's
to
like
be?
a foot away from the thing of just hey, stay back.
Don't park here.
It's for my 5-year-old.
It's not going to be funny if he burns one of those feet.
Well, I did talk a big game now. It almost would be funny at this
No,
point.
now there's
because of
tension
all
on
the
it.
smack that I talked.
Now there's pressure on it. That driveway goes, thankfully, downward. So the boiling oil, although the boiling oil will spin in the other direction.
Into the gallery. It'll spill into the gallery.
No, we're always uphill. We're always in the garage. We don't go downhill.
I hope there is rampant fear in that garage around that boiling oil. Then you will respect it. You've got to respect the boiling oil, and your father's a fool. Like, I know he's taught you very little, but what he should have taught you more than all is he's a fool.
But the man can fry a turkey.
Gross.
He can fry a turkey.
Fry the hell out of a
man,
turkey.
I'm telling you.
It is delicious.
Worth the risk,
It
honestly.
is good. I have never eaten anything better on Thanksgiving. I'm being honest. But what I'm saying is it could have been prepared with shoes.
Gross, yes. Dangerous? I'm not so sure.
All I'm asking is a couple shoes. That's it.
He really hung up on the shoes here. I mean,
It's a dirty garage. Chris, you can
Just
speak
outside
to this.
the garage.
When is the last time you honestly
Cleans a garage.
What?
No, like the floor. I know you clean the stuff in a garage. Like you mop your garage.
I want to know the last time anything in that garage was cleaned. It's gotta be
Never.
it's gotta be. When did they move in? In the 70s? In the 70s. That garage has not had a washcloth in it in half a century.
All fair.
You cannot cook anything in that garage.
Tell it's a foot outside the garage, guys.
A burnt, boiled oil foot that you now have America rooting for. We're rooting
For your house to go on fire.
For the acidic burning down of your father's house and his bare, dirty feet.
Folks, listen up. US Cellular wants to help everyone get the gift of connection this holiday season. Already a customer? This applies to you too, because right now, new and current customers can get any phone, and I mean any phone, for free. Yes, free. Sounds like it's time to make the switch. Spread the holiday cheer far and wide this season with a new phone. Everyone can get the gift of connection at US Cellular. Get any phone free today. US Cellular, built for us. Terms apply. Visit uscellular.com for details.
Kentucky Fried Chicken's 2 for $5 wraps are back. And they're even introducing a new mac and cheese chicken wrap. Are you kidding me? Mac and cheese in a wrap? Two of my favorite things in the entire world. That is in addition to the classic and spicy slaw wraps. Creamy mac and cheese, a hand-breaded crispy chicken tender, and 3 cheese blend, all wrapped in a pillowy tortilla. God, do I love a pillowy tortilla. Order ahead on the app and cheer on tasty goodness with KFC's 2 for $5 wraps. It's finger looking good.
Don Le Batard.
At the end of our conversation with Alex Smith, and we talked for about 30 minutes, but I feel like nobody is going to remember anything about that conversation other than how you fell flat at the end with your very last word. Listen to how Stugotz here at the end of this interview says goodbye, just exhausted, to Alex Smith.
Thanks, Al.
Stugotz.
What happened, Alish?
I'm Dan. I'm exhausted. I haven't stopped talking in a month. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
Billy, you're a odd combination today of proud and confident and strong. You've been fixing things. You claimed that you could fix the world. You have finally been able to fix your bed, the bed that you fell asleep on, and then it broke, and then you pretended to still be asleep, hoping your wife didn't hear it so that you could fix it the following morning.
Yeah.
That bed has now been fixed. You have successfully been a handyman in your home.
That is correct. I fixed that bed, and I did a great job, if you ask me. It hasn't broken since, and it's been almost a week.
And you feel good about, are you someone, I can't fix anything.
Yeah.
I feel truly incompetent around my house. This stuff was not handed down. And
Well, it was
I'm
fight or
embarrassed.
flight, Dan.
I'm embarrassed that I can't fix anything.
It was fight or flight. I had to sleep on the bed the next day, so I had to fix that bed. What is my other option?
There's got to be a line, though, something you will fix. Come on, let's find it. Let's find the thing that you will tackle.
What can you fix?
Because I'm right there with you. I'm trying to think of the thing that I wouldn't call someone for.
I mean, I have with toilets.
Unclogging a toilet?
Not just unclogging, but also getting one to
A lot of
flush.
practice.
Getting one to flush correctly. Yes, thank you,
We
Stugotz.
jiggle, you take the thing off, a little
He's
jiggle
been
this,
waiting
little
that
jiggle
for that opening all his life. I wasn't even looking at him, and I just saw how casually he threw in. Wait a minute! Look, the opening I've been waiting for. Dan clogs the toilet. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody! It's one of the greatest gifts you can give me during this holiday season. I can accuse Dan of really vigorously clogging a toilet.
Took us 21 years to get to it.
Finally, we haven't reached 20 yet. It just feels like
I
it.
always like to tack on a year.
You'll hang a photo.
Yeah.
Yeah, but only if you spot me.
You need a stud finder.
The wire on the back of the frame.
You're
You
a
gotta-
command strip guy, if I've ever met one.
Regardless, is there a story around your fixing of the bed? Because you're better at this than I am. I think Roy's the best we've got around here in terms of being able to do things around the house.
What do you mean? What does that mean?
I would challenge Roy to a home off.
Oh, wow. I like that idea. I like that
That's
idea.
right.
Yes.
Whoa!
I would challenge Roy to a home off.
So we break everything in both your homes and you guys have to fix it?
No.
Oh.
That's 2 challenges for Roy this week. My dad also challenged him to a turk off.
Really?
Turkey,
Wow.
because Roy claimed on the Greg Cody show where we did our potluck that his turkey's better than my dad's, and my dad's like, no, I'll turk off with you anytime you want.
We'll turk each other off.
Baby.
You guys turk each other off, and we'll all taste it.
Circle Turk.
That bare feet? No, man, no. But it's true. I do have a better turkey.
The feet are your objection to
Yes,
what
I
it
don't-
is
I
they just described?
I don't want to see it. And he's going to fry that turkey with those bare feet? No, I'm sorry.
I need for both the home off and the turk off.
One clearly has a better name.
I need both of those things to appear on the After the Game podcast show before the game with David Dwork and the Turk Off. These things need to appear somewhere to bring traffic to Roy's podcast. There is content around both the home off and
Remember, we're all tasting after the turk off.
you mentioned that already unpleasantly. But Billy, you are now alleging that you think you are better around your home fixing things than Roy is. I thought Roy was our local champion here.
I'm not alleging. I know it to be fact. I'm just simply stating the fact
Wow.
that that's the situation.
Confidence.
You want to know how I fixed the bed? Yeah. I use
Phone books.
I use no phone books.
Boom.
That's
Dan?
that's Latin right there. That's broke-ass Latin. Phone books
Even
under a
it out?
bed.
Phone books
Wait a
under a
minute.
mattress.
Wait a minute. Tony's seen Abuela's house. That's how Abuela does it under
on.
the bed.
Couple phone books. You put it right underneath the center so it doesn't fall.
Things
And
are
it
hard to
stands
get
right
in
there.
Cuba. Respect things.
They're still making phone books?
back in the day.
Okay.
Of course. Now you gotta
Grandpa
do
has phone
something else.
books. They used to.
I used a leftover piece of my my mailbox wood that when I installed a mailbox years ago, I had leftover because I don't like to throw things away. So I just had a mailbox post in my shed, and I cut it. And I'm not a very good cutter with a circular saw. Things don't exactly always work
Roy's
out
got
the way
that.
they're supposed to.
Yeah, I got that.
You got what?
Roy's got that in
Circular
his
saw.
game. Roy's got the circular saw game.
I mean, come on.
I think if I needed something done around the house, I would go Billy.
Thank
I don't
you.
know why. I feel like Billy would look up the proper thing and like he would never start the project until he knows the right way to do it. I feel
Thank
like
you.
Roy would just be like, I got this, winging it. And then midway through, he'd be like, I screwed this up. Now I got to go back and
I'm
do
a
this.
measure twice, cut once kind of guy. Roy just cuts once. No measuring. He eyeballs it.
I mean, I don't have hurricane shutters. I have to use plywood as an inch stick. So
That sounds
that's why I
terrible.
use
Roy,
soft-
that can't be true.
What does that
It
have
is
to do
true.
with anything?
Plywood?
No, that is
plywood.
true.
Yeah, yeah.
No, that's a fairly normal thing. That's all over South Florida. That's not just Roy.
Yeah. You just.
But that's a hard job.
You're getting help with that.
That's
Roy,
tough.
you're getting
That's
help with that,
real
though. That's not a one-man job.
What on earth does that have to do with what we're talking about?
Oh,
though?
Roy's showing off his home skills.
Exactly
skills,
right.
buddy. That's what we're talking about.
Well, I mean, you're screwing
that's
something
just
into a
drilling a
wall.
big
Exactly.
flag. I
Right.
could
What does
do
that have
that.
to do with anything? Jeez. I mean, if that's the
No, you
right
could
No, I
reason-
have-
do that. That's
I
the
have-
real
you
Zoom.
talking
I have done that before.
Yeah.
I had help from my father-in-law, but we did it. Tag team, baby.
There's no way Roy does it.
Hurricane shuttering can be difficult.
This is drilling a piece of wood to cover the window, though.
No, it's not. It's not just
Four
drilling
corners.
the wood. You have to drill into the house, and then you have to find the actual right screws to put it in through the plywood through the wall.
The plywood's easy. It's the individual shutters
it's
that
so
are way
easy.
more time
It's
consuming.
not that easy.
You're not making
man.
any cuts. You're just drilling.
Okay, we are talking to a bunch of people who are good at these things. Okay, so
Me?
I cannot explain to you.
I mean, I don't feel like jumping in the fray, but I'm also quite good around the house.
Really?
Wow.
Yes,
This
I've done-
home off is getting very exciting.
I'm done. And guess what? I'll turkey you off right now.
What's it going to taste like? Like Roy's is more citrus. My dad's is the fried. What are you coming to?
I go with a little Cajun bird.
Well, that's what my dad's fried bird is a Cajun bird. So
I like a little dry rub on my turk off.
Greg Cody's
No moisture.
gonna be hard to beat here.
We'll see about that.
I'll turk him off too.
Roy's turkey's so famous he's not doing it this year.
That's why he's gonna be hard to beat.
I'll turk.
Yeah.
I'll beat him. I'll turk them both off at the same exact time.
You're not doing your turkey this year?
I'll try all your turkeys.
No, we are going out of town next week, so it wouldn't make much sense for us to have all those leftovers in the refrigerator for a
That's
week.
next
untouched.
week, though. I mean,
Again, the leftovers in the refrigerator for an entire week untouched.
Sounds like you're bailing on the turk off.
You're promising a turk off a year from now as opposed
No,
to now?
no. We can do this before Christmas.
After the
we can do this
season.
after I can
You
get
name
back
a
after
date
Christmas.
and time, and I'll come over there and I'll turk you off.
Oh yeah, me too. After next
Mike,
week.
I already called it.
Billy,
Why can't you send leftovers elsewhere? I don't understand. You can't do a game today because Thanksgiving's tomorrow. You
confusing.
can't cook a turkey.
He never does
on
anything on the
Thanksgiving
date he's
'cause
supposed to do
something's
it.
He
next.
has no plans on
going on?
Thanksgiving. He's not cooking on Thanksgiving because he doesn't want
He
leftovers.
is right up there
don't get the
low key
timing.
with Stugotz when it comes to excuses.
but it's not. It's not just excuses.
No,
It's,
I can't do that. I'm going out of town in the spring.
What?
it's that this would all be very good content for a property that could rocket up the hockey charts because
The turk off.
Can't do
the
it.
turk off.
Night Stars.
I can't do it because I can't have a home off. I'm trying to give you ideas on how to build up whatever this property is going to be,
Thanks,
Roy.
Dan.
And I think us turking off is absolutely the way to go.
All of us at once, maybe.
All of us. Yes,
Yeah.
I think just gratuitously.
A circle turk.
That's what it
Name
would
your
be.
podcast
Yes.
Turking Off with
Yes.
David and Roy.
Well, one of us has to try it. So I won't turk off, but I'll just try all your turks.
Enough.
I'm actually not turking off this November.
Enough.
I have to turk off.
Okay, enough.
Once a week at least.
I made a pledge.
Not Sundays, though.
This is the month to do it.
Or Fridays.
Billy,
I'm gonna build up.
how do you go from I successfully fixed my bed
Yeah.
to I can now fix the entirety of the world?
Well, because I figure, every good journey starts with a step, and my step was the bed, and I fixed the bed very successfully. And then we were talking about Waze the other day, and this show's always talking about climate change and all these things we should be worried about, and carbon footprint and emissions and all that, right? So I'm driving, and I thought at one point in time, you know what, Waze always sends me this way because they want me to not be on the expressway. And then I was thinking, man, I don't know why I was thinking about carbon emissions, but I was like, you know what? I feel like if I was driving on the expressway, I shouldn't be taking my emissions then through like a regular neighborhood like it's sending me. I'm ruining this neighborhood for all of these people, right? Then I was thinking, well, what if there was a way that you like encapsulated all of the emissions that people are using on an expressway just on the expressway when you have to drive through all those emissions? And then I thought, what if each person lived in an orb and all of their emissions that they created, they had to deal with on their very own? And no one had fresh air. They just lived in their own little bubbles filled with their own emissions.
This is saving the planet?
Then we would, the planet's
So
safe.
they would die.
Let them
People,
finish.
though.
Yeah.
The people would die, but the people that are creating the most dangerous emissions will be the ones that are dying. You basically have to deal with your own consequences. If you're being kind of like an irresponsible person, your orb's going to be super dirty. But when I get home, my orb's not going to be dirty because I have a clean orb. You know what I mean?
Greg Cody's garage would be one of the orbs that would be deeply, deeply unclean.
It would also be great to see who's full of it the most. You know what I mean? Emissions, that is.
Me.
Who's
You're
full
looking
of
at
the
me
most
right there.
emissions?
You're looking
I'm not
at
looking
me.
at you. I'm just saying you look out there and you have these people this is so, you shouldn't, blah, 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 all this stuff. And they're like, buddy, your orb is gray as hell right now.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I believe almost every...
Not that I want to be orbist, but I'm just saying.
Orb off?
Imagine the world, Dan, if we all lived in orbs and we just had to deal with our own shit.
It's coming.
For the rich people.
That's right. Oh, everybody else is going to be dead.
But Joe Buck will be alive.
In space. That's right. On a yacht in space in an orb that is very clean. That is correct. I believe that correctly covers it. I'm not sure how you think this fixes the world, though, Billy. It just seems
because the world
like...
doesn't get any more emissions. You just keep your emissions in your orb.
Correct.
Yeah, but it
You don't
seems-
get it.
You get what you deserve.
What color's your orb, Dan? Now I'm wondering.
It's going to be unclean in spots. It's not...
Spots.
We put up this video of the
It is.
turkey. Greg is standing in his garage, 150%.
The turkey's out of the
One
garage.
fireball,
no
the house
feet.
is
Just
gone.
put this out.
Fryers out of the garage.
He's
No.
in that garage.
My orb
the
has,
one cone.
My orb has some hypocrisy in it.
Dan Le Batard.
Were you guys building out the A-Rod bathroom of your imaginations? Is that what I heard you discussing during the break?
Towels with an A on them.
You know the thing you slide the toilet paper on? That's a baseball bat.
Hey, like that.
Stugotz.
You think he actually calls it the throne? Probably does.
It's an actual throne.
An actual throne. There you go.
There's got to be a full-length mirror in there somewhere.
I imagine somewhere in his house he has a replica of David, but with his head on it.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
I don't know if Mike Schur sees the holidays as a stressful time or a joyful time. I am looking forward to the results of that poll because I think of Mike Schur as having a balanced life that has many of the things in it that he wishes for it to have in it. But I also think of him as somebody who all of a sudden wants his Christmas bonus here at Meadowlark Media and is upping his effort a little bit here, where he says he's got 5 stats of the day. He's been woefully remiss around here for a while. We haven't gotten a stat of the day in I don't know how long, just because these elitists in Hollywood finally stopped striking. And now he's back and he's got a bunch of stats, and you're just doing this because you're trying to get a better holiday bonus, correct?
Nice to see you too, Dan. How are things going? You all right? Everything okay?
I'm a
over
little
there?
stressed because everybody expects a holiday bonus.
Is that true? Do people actually want them?
Yes.
I'll take one.
Yes. What do you mean? Is that true? Do people actually want them? Well, yeah, of course it's true.
I don't want a holiday bonus. I want to be released from my contract. I want the opposite of a holiday bonus. Fire me and use the money that you don't pay me to pay your employees a holiday
We
bonus.
do pay you money. You give it to Ron McGill. I hate that you say this. We pay you for these services. You are not an unpaid intern. Meadowlark Media does not have unpaid interns. That's not true.
All I know is I have exactly the same money in my bank account as I did before I started working for you. That's all
because
I
you
know.
give it away regardless.
Well, that's not our fault that Field of Dreams flopped.
Oh, God damn.
The hell, man. It's the holidays. Coming at me with that.
Before we get to the 5 stats of the day, Roy Bellamy, thank you for joining me in old personhood. Roy has tweeted from his account a breaking story from Variety. Hall Oates, famous duo in rock and roll, are in a confidential legal battle that has led to Daryl Hall getting I'm sorry, I couldn't get it out without laughing. Getting a restraining order against John Oates.
What?
Yeah. Yes.
No.
Yes. Yes.
Oh no.
Yes.
I guess he can't go for that.
Hall filed an undisclosed complaint against Oates on November 16th. The court has issued a temporary restraining order to begin November 30th. This is terrible news in music. This is one of the. I know no one cares, Mike. I'm glad I got that response out of Mike.
I thought it was a cereal at first.
No, I know nobody. But Tony and Chris don't have any idea what we're talking
Say
about.
it isn't so.
Does Hall Oates still have that telephone number you can call to get
Call
three
Oates
to get three
Yeah.
three of those
He's a
songs
man-eater.
of theirs?
I'm gonna do Call Oates
Hold
right
on
now.
a second. We're going to call Oates right now. Now I want you to imagine. Hold on a second, Mike. I'm sorry to interrupt the show with this. You know the telephone number. It's just Call Oates. It's one
speed dial.
Hall Oates, your emergency Hall and Oates helpline. To hear one-on-one, please press 1. To hear it go, please press 2. To hear man-eater, please press 3.
You're
To hear
hitting 3.
privatize,
You're hitting
please
3.
Press
Oh, I'm
4.
hitting
Hit 3.
4.
Come on.
All right.
Watching you.
You should have hit 3 though. How can you not hit?
No, because this one
man-eater?
has the clap. This is your new set of the day, Ben. Enjoy it.
Go ahead, Mike.
This is your set of the day. Go for it.
You can go. You can give us one of your stats of the day to each of the Hall & Oates songs. Maybe we'll go through 4 of them as your background. Go ahead. Give us your first stat of the day,
Do the
please.
clap?
There we go. All right, here's the stat of the day. You ready?
Yep.
This is from Codify Baseball. Not counting batters who were intentionally walked. Greg Maddux faced 8,025 batters during the 95 to 03 seasons. The total pitches to those batters that were called balls, 8,006. Less than 1 ball per batter over 9 seasons.
No way. That can't be right. They're just thinking of the next time they have to clap.
I tried to time it so that they
I know.
clapped right as
I know,
in
it's tough, though.
between.
Wait,
It didn't
wait.
quite work. There we go.
You almost stepped on it and they didn't trust you. Give your second stat of the day.
No.
Now.
I can barely hear the music. It's so teeny and sad.
It's off
Turn
his-
on original audio.
If it's on his phone. It's shitty audio off of
This
his
is when
phone.
music was music. He's a man-eater.
That
Come on,
was
man. Don't hold back your love. Go for it.
That was so good that Tony, I'm like, how did Mike do that? His lips weren't moving.
This is like it's AM radio in like a 1979. All right.
Go ahead.
No.
I'm trying to walk him into a trap.
I can't, now they're clapping too much. I don't have
No,
time.
wait, hold on. I think you can go now. I think it's safe.
No, it's not.
Oh,
you fell for it. Yeah, you're out.
Get out, Roy. Get out of here. Therapy couch. Get out of here. False start. You're on our team.
How y'all doing?
Come on.
Yeah, Mike.
That was Tony. Tony, you're out. Get out of here. Go ahead, Schur.
Even for this show, this is insane.
Give us your second
All right.
stat of the day. Hold on. Let him get Man-Eater here. Let him get Man-Eater queued up by dialing number 3 so that you have the music that you need.
Yes, the music I need. That's right.
Segment needs a little buoying. The stats aren't strong enough by themselves. It needs some entertainment behind it.
That stat wasn't strong enough for you. That's an amazing stat.
I didn't hear
The
it.
clapping was strong enough.
We were jamming out. We didn't hear it.
All right, you ready?
Yes.
Wait for the sacks, I guess.
You can wait for.
Have you never heard Maneater?
I can barely hear Maneater right now.
You requested Maneater. We're doing the sax here. We're easing in.
That's better.
We're easing in. A little bit of lubrication before things escalate to the most central of places.
Mike looks like he's playing the saxophone into his phone.
That's right. You can go now. But when you got to beware, you got to hit your dismount so that Maneater
I
is
can
the dismount.
barely hear the song, Dan. It's not fair.
Just deliver the set.
Last night.
All right, lay out.
Hold on a second.
Last night,
Now you-
Tyrese Halliburton. I don't know if any of you saw that game.
Yes.
309 points scored in that game.
He's great.
37, 16, and 5. He's great. He's, according to me, the last hope for point guards in this
Love
league.
watching him.
37, 16, and 5 with 9 threes. There's only one other person who's ever had that game. It was James Harden, New Year's Eve 2016 against the Knicks. If you toss in his 3 steals, no one's ever had that game.
Hold on.
No, Chris Cody, you're out.
It was a
You
little early.
You went with a little early. Get out of
Get
here.
out.
problem I have.
You're out. Why is Tony still here? Tony, you clapped at the wrong time. You're not supposed to be here either. That was such a fun game. I wish all of basketball was like that.
It was amazing.
It's the highest over-under since 1995 entering that game.
Yes, I saw before the game. How is
The
this
two
over
teams-
250? How is this number over 250 and they went over 300?
Because the Pacers score 140 points a game. They're good. They're legit good. The 2 teams last night were 37 of 76 from 3. That's almost 50% on 76 attempts. God bless them. So fun. That team's sneaky good. Not even
Well,
sneaky.
not
they're
just sneaky good. If I tell you now, who do you want, Trey Young or Halliburton? You're like,
Halliburton.
I kind of want Halliburton.
Oh, Halliburton by far.
I know, but
Easy.
that's changed over the last 18 months, I'm going to say.
Halliburton's becoming one of the best players in the league.
He's wonderful. His
Yeah.
range is ridiculous.
Yeah, he's got incredible potential still. He's an amazing player.
Do you want to do another song or do you want to peter out here? Because it's just you, me, and Mike
Well, he
right
said he
now.
had 5 sets.
How many more?
I don't really. I've got a couple more if you want them. By the way, instead of a stat, can I give you a theory? I have
Well,
a
this
theory.
isn't the theory
Sure.
of the day.
We are in the sax breakdown, so go for it.
My new theory is that the Steelers and the Miami Heat are spiritual cousins. Their offense stinks for both teams. They're constantly outplayed. There's like a narrative for each of them that their culture is that they're different and better and tougher than everybody else. They win every game by 3 points and no one can figure out how.
And they've
I
only
think they're
had
the
like
same team.
And they've only had like 4 coaches in their history.
Yeah. They're the Steelers are the Heat of the NFL and vice versa in the NBA. That's my theory.
Juju, put it on the poll, please, at Le Batard Show. Are the Steelers and Miami Heat spiritual cousins? Mike, do you want to try a third? I don't know if another Hall & Oates song is going to hold up. I think of Hall & Oates as having those two. And I know they have more, but they weren't
They have
offered
Rich
on that.
Girl. They have Sarah
But
Smile.
they weren't offered on that phone line. That's not one of the options.
Yeah, we didn't
Why
hear
are we
all the
doing this on a
options.
day when they're like suing each other? What? This is so sad.
Well, because they're suing each other, and that's so. Some things are better left unsaid.
Give us a final stat of the day. We have missed you. Congratulations on finally getting back to work.
My final stat of the day is just a list. It's just a list of wide receivers. Do you want to hear it?
Yes.
Bethel Johnson, PK Sam, Chad Jackson, Matthew Slater, Brandon Tate, Taylor Price, Jeremy Ebert, Josh Boyce, Aaron Dobson, Jeremy Gallen, Devin Lucian, Malcolm Mitchell, Braxton Berrios, N'Keal Harry, Trey Nixon, and Tyquan Thornton.
These are all wide receiver draft picks by Bill Belichick.
That's correct. Since 2003.
Just your thoughts, because Mina, Pablo, and I talked about this for a while the other day. We've got less than a minute left. But as a fan of Boston stuff and excellence, your ideas around Belichick might be fired are?
By the way, I left out Julian Edelman just because it made my list better. I think that the answer here, which I haven't heard anyone say, I'm sure someone has said this. I haven't heard anyone say it. If you could fire Belichick as a GM and keep him as a coach, you would do it, right? That his problem is not coaching. He held Tyreek Hill to like 40 yards. He still is a very good defensive coach. You just can't, at this point, you can't keep him as a coach and fire him as a GM. If you did that, he would quit, which maybe is what they'll do. Maybe they'll say they want to bring in a GM and get him to quit. But that's the answer. It's his main problem, in my opinion, is that he's whiffed on like 10 straight drafts, and he's gotten a little unlucky with injuries on defense. But other than that, I would still keep him as a coach. He just can't draft people anymore. He's never been able to draft wide receivers.
Do you
He's been
think
able
he's
to
out of
trade for them
touch?
and not draft them.
See you later. Good seeing you,
Firing
Mike.
him. I can't go for that.
Bye.
No can do.